Welcome to the Sensational Podcast. We are your hosts, Osama and Sammy, and we are the Sensational Ones, interviewing sensations. We have the wonderful Salafa with us today as one of our hosts, and Janice as one of our guests.
Thank you for having me.
Hello, women. How are you today?
Very good, blessed.
Very good. How was your weekends, everyone?
Pretty good.
Good,
Yeah,
blessed.
we actually did go to her event,
Yes.
which was, Sunday cookout. Yeah, so that was a very successful event.
It was good.
Yeah,
pretty
I'm
good.
glad you guys had a good time.
We did. You actually brought like a different kind of vibe to Sydney, the nightlife where, I got my gems done, so one fell out today, but so like being like with your event, like Sunday Cookout, you did kind of bring out a different kind of vibe to Sydney, nightlife and stuff.
For sure.
Yeah. So the games night and like all of that, so it was pretty cool.
That was the goal. I love Sydney, but I feel like, especially on a Sunday, there's not that many places I feel like I can go. Just spend the day, network, meet people, vibe. So I've been trying to curate something. But
Yeah, definitely.
It's working.
It's working. It's very it's going good.
Is that what made you start that? The Sunday Cookout? Was just trying to bring something new into the scene?
I wanted something new. I wanted something where I could go, still get home at a decent time, not really mess up my week. And I prefer to go out during the day.
Yeah.
Love to eat. I'm a big foodie. So we have a chef.
Yeah.
We've got games. You can get your hair braided, tooth gems. We had a magician one time. So I was like, we had a magician. I was out at a charity event and I met him. And I don't know what he did. We were having a conversation. My drink was full. And then he's like, where did your drink go? And I'm like, where did my drink go?
No.
I was really confused, and then he told me I'm a magician, and I'm like, okay, makes sense. I need to have you at one of my events one day, and it was a big success when he came. So
That would have been crazy for sure.
yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, so Janice, tell the people that don't know about you or don't know who you are, what you're about, what you do, and just how life has been at the moment.
Well, life is good, but my name's Janice. I was born and raised in Sydney. Done a lot of traveling, but I'm back now. And recently I've just been trying to bring something new to Sydney, obviously with the events, but I also run and founded an NGO. So we do water filtration in Kenya. Started off in Kenya, but we plan to expand. And everything I do is kind of centered around my charity or bringing people together, trying to raise awareness for different causes, whether that's the water, whether that's, bring together small businesses and vendors and shedding light on different people doing great things here. So that's been my mission at the moment.
Yeah, well, I've seen off your Instagram and everything, like, it looks like it's going great. You get a lot of support behind it, and I'm all here for it. So that's definitely some more things you want to see in the scene.
We'd love to see, young women like yourselves and doing these amazing things out in the community. It's very inspiring,
Thank you, I appreciate it.
But what was that leap like? Like, what made you really just go out there and be like, I'm going to go move there, or I'm just going to go there and start something? And like, how did that start, and how did you kind of navigate towards that?
Well, I'll jump back a little bit before I started it. So I finished school here, but when I was in year 12 going through the HSC, I was like, I just really don't want to be here. Like, I just, maybe I could come back here. Like, I love Australia, don't get me wrong. I want to raise a family here. But I just don't think that these fundamental years before my 20s or like going into my 20s, I don't think I'm going to get enough character development in the ways that I wanted to get it from being in Sydney around the circle that I had at that time. And I didn't want to, I loved my friends. There was nothing wrong with my friends. It wasn't that. I just personally felt like I had to leave. So I looked into different colleges. I looked into what I wanted to do. And I came across a HBCU, so a black college essentially, in Atlanta. And I applied to that, and I applied to UCLA. I applied to a bunch of places. And I actually got into a lot of colleges, but something about when I got into Clark was just, I was just like, this is so different. This is going to be such a huge change. I'm going to love it or I'm going to hate it, but either way, I'm going to grow. And I was like, I think that's what I need. Like, I was the only black girl in my school, not in my school, but in my grade for a majority of my life. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I just felt like to go from that to a black college, only black people, not just black people, but people that are like of different ethnicities, is going to be, I'm going to grow, essentially. So I applied for there. I got in. I actually got in like a couple weeks before my HSC, so I still started, but if I'm going to be honest, I really didn't care. I was like, I'm leaving. I was packing, and I'm like, oh, got classes tomorrow. It's all good. I'm about to be out of here. And 3 days after the HSC, I picked up, I moved, I went to Atlanta. I was living there for 2 years. I loved it. Wow. I learned so much. I grew a lot. I found out a lot of things about myself, a lot of things that I thought were missing in Sydney, that the event kind of leads to that. Yeah. And I was enjoying it, I really was. And then COVID happened and I came to visit my family. I got stuck here and I was back in the same place. The same place. And to go from having everything and feeling like you finally got it together. I mean, we all go through that. We all feel that. But to go from, it's life. But to go from finally figuring like I've got it figured out. I saw my trajectory. I saw my path and like career opportunities. Yeah. And then, I was back here and everyone, we were all stuck in our room or wherever you were. Yep. And I'm like, what do I want to do now? What can I do from home? And my brother told me that he recently just did a water filtration project in Kenya, and he just did it with one of his friends. It cost about $20,000, and he told me, he sat me down and he said, I asked him, what can I do with money right now? Like, I was looking at investments, but I wanted to do something to make me feel a bit better. And he said, with $20,000, I just gave a community of about 500 people with 2 schools in it water for 10 years.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And the first time he said it, I didn't really hear him. I was like, okay, just water. He said, no, water for 10 years with minimal maintenance. And I said, $20,000, 500 children plus all of these schools, 10 years. Yeah. That's crazy. And the next 2 years, or my whole time in COVID, was just figuring out how I can replicate that, how I can make it accessible for all people to donate. You may not have the 20, but how can you give 100 or 50 or whatever you have? How can I show you your impact, and how can I create something? And that was basically it. It started off from feeling lost. It started off from feeling out of place and looking for something that I could, do to give back. And since then, it's just blown up. Like, it's changed. I didn't think it was possible, but we've been doing really great things.
But it also taps into, like, everything happens for a reason. Like, that might have been your calling to, go out there and do all that, because now you're just doing amazing things out there. You're doing it, you're evolving it, and, obviously making some noise. So, we congratulate on that. Hats off, and, thank you so much. Just keep doing what you're doing. So.
Thank you.
So, what really made you just decide that, okay, this is where I want to invest my money? Even though you're taking a risk, you didn't know sort of how it was going to impact people, or, like, what was the drive behind it that made you really, like, tap into that?
Specifically with no taps? Or?
Yeah, with no taps, yeah.
What made me choose? Well, I was born here, first off. So I would say I have a lot of luxuries, and I've had access to a lot of luxuries that I never considered them to be a luxury, if I'm going to be so honest. The amount of times I touch my tap a day and drink water and have a long shower, and I'm, taking that extra 20 minutes for no reason and not even thinking about it. That, to me, and then obviously, like I said, when my brother told me what he was able to do and what you can do out there, I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand how this is still a problem. Yep. Like in 2024, whatever year it was, like, I don't understand how so many people lack access to a basic human right.
Yeah.
And that's the luxury that we often forget.
Take for granted every day, especially living in a country like Australia. Like, we have pretty good water. No one really considers that, as a luxury, like I said. So I just couldn't believe it. Like, it wasn't something small for me. It was something that, like, every shower, every time that's why I actually called it no taps. Yeah. It's pretty straightforward. Some people ask me, I'm like, it's very straightforward. They have no taps, they have no water. Yeah. And think about that. Think about that in the morning. Think about that whenever you do that. So that's kind of why it's just, I feel like there's so much opportunity, and I think that a lot of people think of charities as, you don't know where your money's going. You're giving to a huge organization with 300 plus staff. You get a thank you email at the very most sometimes. Yeah. And I was like, I have the ability with social media and my platform to change that whole experience. What does that look like? To show people, to go there myself while I have the luxury to, and give back. And the first time I went there, I just knew that I'm going to keep doing this. I don't think I could ever stop.
So what countries are they in exactly? You said Kenya.
We started in Kenya. We do have plans at the moment, even this year, to expand into several other countries. but the connections we had at the time, and also the situation in Kenya, it's pretty safe. There's not a lot of political conflict or warfare going on. There are a lot of people that speak English like it's their first language. There isn't, there wasn't a lot of religious barriers that we had to go through to start something. And I have really amazing people on the board of my charity who are pretty high up in a couple of different places. One of the directors was on the board of, the World Health Organization, and other charities for years. So when I got that kind of support in Kenya, we knew, let's just start there, but we will expand.
No, we want to see that too,
Sure.
Yeah.
So Janice, what I would ask is like, who are the individuals that do inspire you in life, and like pretty much you look up to, and how pretty much got you to this place at the moment?
Wow. That question is such a powerful question. I don't know if I'll ever be at a point in life that I can answer that and list all the people, because I've been touched and inspired by so many individuals.
I can see that through your Instagram and through the stories that you tell on your Instagram. I can see that. Like, from who are like that one individual that was just like, all right, I'm doing that for you. And
my mom.
Yeah.
Honestly.
100%.
I can't think of anyone else. She's so I could sit here and talk about my mom all day and we don't have the time for it, but she's just so inspirational to me in every way. Her humility, her grace, the way she speaks, the way she carries herself, her perspective on failure is so great. And I wish that everyone hears how she speaks about it. She doesn't look at failure. She doesn't even, the way she explains failure to me and has explained it to me my whole life actually drives me. Like, it's never been this thing that I was afraid of. Obviously rejection and failure are different, but like everyone's, fearful of getting rejected at certain points, so that's your career, your social life, whatever. But she's always told me, just do it once. You want to do hair, learn how to do it. You want to do makeup, you learn how to do it. You want to start a charity and think you're going to change the world, you might. Like, she's just always told me, just don't stop, just do as many things as you can. You don't know how many people, you can impact, how many lives you can change.
100%.
Talk to people. My mom's older, so, she's always told me, like, speak to people that are older than you. They've done it before. They've had that breakup. They've had that career shift. And I've just always positioned myself with older people. I positioned myself with strong, powerful women and men doing great things. I love to listen. Like, I was inspired by people even yesterday at my cookout. I'm inspired by you guys and the platform that you guys have built or are building right now to bring the community together and share stories of so many people. But
I love that.
My mum first and foremost, and God, of course.
100%.
Because you can definitely learn from everyone. Like, you can learn from anyone on the street to, a CEO of a multi-billion company. Like, you can learn from anybody. So,
anyone. So
you just gotta. My mom always used to tell me, you have two ears, one mouth for a reason. So, like, use the ears, to really listen to people.
I'm gonna take that one. Tell my kids.
Sure, I always say that kind of stuck with me all the time. So it's kind of similar, like the way everything is. So I understand that one for sure. Yeah.
So you said that when for No Taps you've travelled a lot for that. So, what would you say? Tell us a story of a very inspirational story that you've heard, because from anyone that you've met travelling. What would you that has literally a story time, like a mini story time that would
touched you?
That touched me.
Yeah.
There's so many. I keep saying there's so many, but there really is. But there's go ahead.
The two girls that you had.
Oh wow, they're
that
so
one,
beautiful.
that
they're
one.
so beautiful.
Yeah,
I'm so glad. Well, not glad, but thank gosh I cannot adopt children right now, because I promise you, me and my 15 children would be sitting right here every trip. I would come back. They're just so beautiful, so sweet, so content with life, with nothing. Like so content, so happy, so gracious, so kind.
Yeah.
I just wish we could sprinkle a bit of that on everyone in this city.
Yeah.
But not everyone, but some people for sure.
A lot of
but one story in particular that really changed my life in terms of No Taps was so one of our projects, it's in an area called Masai Mara. It's a huge national park.
I was there.
You were there?
Yeah.
Stunning. Did you do the safari?
I was there. I did a safari. I was doing the project there, little small project.
Awesome.
Some good mates of mine, yeah.
I'm sure you can exchange some amazing stories.
Yeah.
It's just, everyone has to go, just at least once.
Just the landing strip
Oh my gosh.
In the middle of the Serengeti, it's just crazy.
When I was landing, I was like, I'm home. I don't even know if I don't think there's even houses here, but I'm home. But yeah, and one story that absolutely changed my life was I was talking to a grandmother, and it's actually very sad, but the reality, so people need to hear it. And she was telling me that in these areas, not only do they not have water, there's no natural water reserves or anything. It's just, dams that fill up and wells that other amazing charities have built in the past, but wells do dry up. So a lot of them, they're just not there or not functional. Yeah. But she was telling me that they obviously just get water and walk sometimes 20 kilometers hours each day, the women and children, to fetch water. But she was explaining that one, there's a drought and there wasn't a lot of water for a long time, and two, they have a wildlife conflict because they're trying to get water from where the animals are drinking, and people don't consider that. So she actually told me a story of, very sadly, her 2 grandchildren were attacked by hyenas while trying to fetch water, and they both passed away. And they didn't know that when a hyena is coming, you're not meant to run. So she stood still and tried to tell them to stand still, and they were attacked. And both of them passed. And she told me this, and she said, I don't have enough tears. I don't have any more tears to cry because I've cried for other people's children and grandchildren and families, because this is not a rare occurrence for us. We're trying to get... It's real life. Yeah. We're trying to get water from where the lions are trying to drink. We're trying to get water from where you see these giraffes, these elephants, this National Geographic picture that you have in your head. Like, not only is the water unclean and a plethora of waterborne illnesses can come from this water, but we're fighting these animals, and I just I was a mess. I was like, I have all the tears to cry for you. I was heartbroken. I was disappointed in myself for not thinking that that was a problem, but then also I was like, why would I think about that? Because who actually thinks about that? But then I should be I went through this big, I went home, I didn't even eat dinner at the resort. I just had to go and process it. Anyway, amazingly, we've done one project there that opened last year. So we actually did a project in Dominique's village, and it's fully functional. And I'm going back in a couple months to do another one, because that one has completely changed the whole community. The children are actually coming to school because they don't have to be fetching water. They're healthier. So they're actually got a whole new area now where they're doing agriculture. And so they're teaching them how to, because it's clean water now, so they can have steady crops. The whole village has changed. So that was one story that has a happy ending. I mean, it's still a problem. I can't fix all the problems there, but as long as,
we all put our hands together and do what we can do, as individuals. That's
absolutely.
What matters at the end of the day.
And just think about that. I don't know if anyone's watching and heard that story. Just think about it is a real thing. And
that's real life. Yeah.
It's real life. It's happening right now. Not that your problems or whatever you're going through is insignificant, but just think about that next time. Yeah. Next time it's petty. Next time you can let it go.
About the small issues that we face here in the West. Some people are living in that real reality back.
Exactly.
Back in Africa. And, yeah.
No, 100%. But do you face any challenges setting up these places, or what are some of if someone was trying to do what you're trying to do at the moment, what challenges could they expect, or what to look out for? Or
I do. It's hard. I mean, everything's hard. Choose your hard.
Yeah, definitely.
I think everything's, if you do it for long enough, it won't be so hard. But starting off, it was a lot of pressure and a lot of responsibility, and I mean, there might be a degree for it, but I don't know where it is. So I didn't really have the education. I just had the passion. And sometimes that's enough.
Passion and consistency.
Passion, consistency, discipline, education, putting yourself in circles where you can learn from people and not being afraid to be in a circle and maybe know nothing. I remember I went to this meeting in the city that was for other people and philanthropists. And I didn't realize how big the meeting was. I just booked myself a little ticket and I got there, and the first lady was like, I run the Ronald McDonald Foundation for 25 years. What do you do? And I'm like, I just started a charity 3 months ago, but
that's where you start though.
Yeah, that's where you start. And I just really just said nothing. I just had nothing really to add in the conversation.
Being successful in the room is the right room to be in.
The right room. I had nothing to say and I loved it. I was just learning. I put my little audio on. I was recording. I had 10 voice memos. and I was just listening. But definitely it is hard. But one thing is obviously, like I said, putting yourself in rooms where, you know, people have gone through the hardest part.
For sure.
It's really good. Also, I have an amazing team. Like, all the people on the board of my charity are all, you know, successful, intelligent, empathetic, passionate individuals. And also, when it comes to starting it, I mean, just figuring out, as I would say, as an entrepreneur, it doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're in philanthropy or just any scene, just being real with yourself, understanding like, okay, I have all these goals, I have this big plan, and it's not going to happen tomorrow. I have to just have small, realistic goals. And for me, the biggest part was operations and getting the back end together. So if you go to the No Taps Instagram, I'm going to be so real. There's not really much up there. I'm not as consistent as I want to be. But that's because for us, the past year or two has been about making sure when I take your money, when you donate to my charity, that it goes exactly where it's supposed to go. Yeah. That I never wanted to be a charity where all of the money was going to the employees or myself. So all of our operational costs are covered by sponsors, and everything that you donate goes directly to what you're supporting. And we've got some really cool things coming up, like virtual reality tours where you can go, you know, watch your project, check in with it. We're developing an app. We've got a new website. Actually decided to code that myself. Key tip: ask for help. Hire people. You don't have to do it all yourself.
That's sometimes the hardest part. Asking for help. You know?
Asking for help, and
you just want to do it all on your own because
in our community you don't do that. You really don't. It makes you look weak. So I think, I mean, I don't know if you guys can agree, but when you grow up with that mentality for long enough, you really close yourself to a lot of opportunities.
Yeah. So you said that you're working on an app.
Yeah, to do with the charity. I won't say too much now, but
sorry,
yeah, we are. No, it's okay.
I was just gonna get some info. Okay.
Oh no, that one. It's being developed right now. I've got a lot of people coming on board. It would just be a good way to be able to check in with all the projects. You know, watch time lapses. There'll be a lot of stuff on there. So I'll share more hopefully in the near future.
But we'll still have the No Tap Foundation and description and everything. If anyone wants to go check that out, you can go check that out. Support her. You can donate if you want to as well. But how many projects do you actually have at the moment?
So right now we've got 7 complete. We've got 6 more. 2 of them have started construction, and we're growing. We're actually growing very fast. Okay, well, everyone has their different definitions, but for me and my goals, I'm proud of myself. And so I'm like, oh no, thank you. But I'm doing this new thing, by the way. We all have to work on telling ourselves that we're proud of ourselves, because I don't want to get to a point where I need to hear it from other people. I'm just trying to tell, even if it's a small goal, like, you know what? I'm proud of myself today. One thing closer. So, but obviously my team as well. I don't want to say it like I'm just, everyone's doing amazing things. But we've got, so by the end of the year, currently we've got almost 1 million liters of water running per hour.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's expanding rapidly.
And what's that span like? Like, how long is that span from? Like, from you started to like now?
What
how long has that been, like, until you got to that position?
Oh, so we started during COVID. So it's been, whoa. Wait a minute. No. I don't even want to accept that it's been 3 years. That's crazy.
Yeah, time flies.
Where's the time gone?
Yeah.
It's COVID.
So what would you tell an 18-year-old you? Did you at 18 think that you'd be doing what you're doing today, or?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would start with what I just said. I'm proud of myself. Even at 18, even when I didn't have it figured out. I would also tell myself that there are probably at least 1 million people who feel how you feel right now in this very moment. In every way. And especially that feeling of not fitting in that I felt at that time. There's, when misfits get together, great things happen. So find someone else who doesn't fit in and make your own safe space, your own home, your own hub, whatever that is, whatever industry or field that is for. I would say that. And also that everything's hard. Just find your heart that's worth pursuing.
And what was your upbringing like growing up here in Australia? How was that experience for you?
It's very interesting.
Being born here and, being raised here and schooling and all that kind of stuff.
So I was born and raised here. My mom's Senegalese, my dad's Sierra Leonean, so I'm West African. And I was actually adopted at 2 months old to an Egyptian family, which, I mean, they're my family too. But unlike your typical adoption, I'm very close with my biological family too. They only lived 20 minutes from me growing up. Okay. So I got to see both perspectives. You know, my adopted family are very strict Orthodox. My biological family are Muslim, and just different experiences, just so different. So I think I was blessed to see so many perspectives, but I didn't used to look at it as a blessing. I used to look at it as well, don't really fit in here. I go to the African community. They're you have a white family. You act white. I don't know what that means. I don't know why people say that, but I heard that a lot of times. And then I went back here, and even though I'm so loved and my family have never made me feel anything other than that, I obviously was not Egyptian when I was when I was in church and I was the only girl there. So I just felt for a long time like I didn't fit in, and I don't think anyone fits in anywhere. I think you just find places where you feel loved or whatever keeps you there.
And valued.
And valued, and stay there. And even if in your own community you don't feel that, find another one. Find another one, go. There's so many people, like I said, that probably feel exactly like you and I. 100%. And, just find somewhere and feel loved and valued and put in effort, show up for others. You can't always expect people to show up for you if you're not showing up for others as well. 100%. Take accountability. So, yeah.
All right, Janice, so can you tell us more about your college experience? You said you went to Atlanta?
Yeah.
Yes?
So Atlanta was amazing. Yeah. I loved Atlanta. Yeah. It's so Atlanta. I don't know how to explain it. You got to go to ADL to understand. I don't know how to explain it, but I spent time in LA before, a lot of other states in the US. But when I was talking to people about Atlanta, they were like, I feel like you'll like it. There's so many companies, there's so many thriving individuals, and so much opportunity to just network, and just be outside, not outside, how we were talking about outside recently, but be outside and just, But college was amazing. It was life-changing. It was beautiful in so many ways. Yeah. Like I said, growing up in Australia and being, in the communities that I was in, which is not really any, I was...
accepted.
Yeah. When I got there, my first day, I was like, I've never seen so many different kinds of Black people. So many different kinds. Because I've obviously seen, different African people from different places and their features and their mannerisms and the language. And I'm so, I love it. Not just Black people, but everywhere. But going there... there's people from every corner of the globe. There's just people from everywhere. And to think that they all made a conscious effort, whether that included getting a scholarship, working so hard, breaking generational barriers, being so good at a sport and putting in that athlete, I'm not an athlete, but I just know how hard they train and your body, the pressure. I have some friends on the football team that trained so much, worked so hard, had so many no's, but just knowing that every single person there in their own way, with their own childhood tribulations, everything, worked and got accepted. A lot of them moved across the world, country, interstate, doesn't matter how far you moved, but you left what was home to you and comfortable, and you went somewhere just to be surrounded by other people like you. That was I felt restored. I was like, this is the restoration I needed to, know that. Yeah, and a lot of people I met were misfits, and they were the coolest people ever, and their stories and what they're up to now. Yeah. They're when you're in those environments, I mean, you don't need to be in college to feel that, but when you're in college, you know that you're kind of talking to a go-getter. Because they're putting in that work. It's not easy, and they're paying. So
if they're paying, is different too.
Yeah, your time is different. It's a huge investment, and yes, you can pay all that money and waste it and not take anything from it, but the people I met weren't. They were really...
What would you really get out of it?
Yeah, what would you get out of it? What's the point? I mean, there's a lot of beautiful people there and good to network and make friends, but what would you get out of it if you didn't immerse yourself in every possible way? So it was incredible, and I feel like going there for me. I mean, everyone's different. Now I go to college here and I still meet amazing people and everything. But for my story and my struggles and my feelings at that time and how I was feeling, I think that was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made, because the conversations and the feeling that I felt there, I will really try my hardest to make people feel that here. And I think the events that I'm starting to get into and start are all about that. It's not just about nightlife. It's not about going out. It's about feeling something. It's about meeting people and meeting people that you get home and you want to text the next day and be like, it was so good meeting you. We should catch up. Not just like, oh yeah, she was cool, whatever. And then like you never speak to them again. But
I actually feel that. I feel that with your events. But I've been to a few events now, and when I go there, it's not just loud music and everyone dancing. It's low enough that you can have a conversation and meet people of the same sort of mentality and stuff like that. Like, it's a very special crowd that comes through those doors, and that's really different for me here in Sydney. Like, I've never seen that. That's more of something I've seen in Western Australia and Dubai and stuff like that, but never really seen that here in Sydney. And you're bringing a complete different culture that the city hasn't really seen. And
I really appreciate that. I really do. That, Thank you.
Yeah.
Hopefully. And playing games are so fun. Like, there's something about all the seriousness leaves when the Uno... seriousness comes when the Uno deck's out. If you beat me. If you don't beat me, we're okay then.
No. I think I beat a couple of people's...
Okay, well, we don't need to play Uno together because I want to keep this friendship.
No, yeah. That whole Uno game system, it was pretty cool.
Thank you.
My question is, from your whole experience, what would you say... is there something that you would have done differently?
With the events? Or just in life?
Just in life, like being in college and traveling and stuff like that. Is there anything that you would say you would have done differently?
I mean, we all think like, that what if I made a different decision?
Yeah.
What if I, pursued this? But I think that in times like this, in the world with everything that's going on, with events like COVID, I think prior to COVID, I probably would have given you a list. But after COVID, no, probably not.
Yeah.
No, probably not actually. Because I feel like there's stuff that's in your control, but it's all part of your path. Like, and I truly believe that. Some people don't. I believe it's part of my path. Yes, there's little decisions that could slightly alter, the way that it plays out. But I think that it's meant to play out how it is. Yeah. So I wouldn't necessarily say there's anything I would have done differently right now. Yeah.
Sweet.
I think I just would use the things that, like, the decisions or the, like, certain things from my past to just make better decisions in the future.
Right.
Yeah.
But that still comes back to, like, there's something to learn from it.
Yeah, always.
So you just learn from it and move on. Just grow as a person. So
yeah.
I think that's what you've done, to be honest. So
thank you.
I don't think, you should really have any regrets. But
and I think journaling is so important. Like, I'm really in my journaling era right now, because I think that we just forget so many things. Like, you could imagine, like, I'm sure we've just all been upset or angry recently. And in the moment, you feel like the whole world is ending.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow comes and you don't even remember that emotion. But it was so heightening. Like, at that one moment, you really felt like it was just over. And then, you have the next problem and that's a bit insignificant.
Yeah.
But when you journal and you can go back to that place, not that place in terms of the emotion, but you can read, like, how you felt. I think it allows you to just, like, make better decisions so you don't feel like that again. Like, it's less of like, oh, that happened and, oh, why did that happen? Okay, how could I have handled it a bit differently? How can I put myself in situations where it won't happen in that way, or I won't be in that situation at all? So I think, like, a lot of people in our community or in the Black community, I don't know why, when I talk about meditating or journaling, are like, why are you doing that? Like, and I'm like, because I want to be better. It's important, in my opinion. But
even on that point as well, what's some other coping mechanisms you have for, like, stress, like being overworked and maybe just pressure as well? Like, how do you cope with that and how do you just get through life in general?
My mum.
Yeah.
I talk to my mum about a lot. I pray a lot. I don't go to church, but I have a very strong relationship with God, and I really have started going there first, which I know you should anyway, but sometimes you really don't. Yeah. You can go to Instagram friends everything else before that. So I try and go there first. And also just trying to like set smaller goals, goals that are maintainable, like not, okay, I want to have, you know, 20K this month, or so like 20,000 followers for my charity in 6 months. And then I might get 500 and not appreciate it and not care. And then as a result, you end up losing a percentage of that 500 because you were so caught up on the bigger picture that you didn't do little things. Versus if, let's say you set a smaller goal to get 500 and then you got 500, you might thank your followers and you might reach out and be like, oh, so all the new followers that came along, like, thank you so much, you're appreciated. And so a lot of people like focus, and myself included, so much on the bigger picture that you lose sight of all the amazing things that are part of your journey that you don't take in. So I think that that's something that I've started doing recently, just smaller goals, more appreciation for myself and people that are involved in helping me get to those goals. And
just trusting and loving the process as well.
Loving the process. There's so many amazing people, so many stories I'm sure you guys could tell me that would fix something that I'm struggling with right now, or help shed light on an issue that I might have been stuck on for like 6 months. And then that one thing you said, I'm like, oh, I didn't even think of it like that. So it's important.
Yeah, 100%.
So what I would say is like, how would you say you manage, like how you like manage your time? Because I know you could be like, you know, very busy. Your weeks are very busy. And how would you manage your time to prioritize certain things? And is it like the challenging part of it?
It's very challenging. Yeah, it is challenging. I'm studying as well.
Yeah, so that's what I mean.
With study, with work, with everything. But I mean, like choose your heart. Like just choose. Like it's hard. It's going to be hard. If I'm not doing this, I'm going to do something else, and I'm going to say it's hard. And then so just choose it. I've chosen mine right now. Some days are harder than others. Some days I don't do as much as I want to. Trying to work on being on social media less or using it more effectively. I think a lot of people forget that it's a very successful tool and it can be used for a plethora of great things, but it shouldn't be a reality. Like you shouldn't. I feel like sometimes we open our phones and we almost get sucked into like this portal of like what life is, and life is what people are posting and where they're eating and who's with who and what people have that's better or worse than yours. And you might read a meme or two and then you're just absolutely thrown off, or it might give you this sense of gratification that really isn't granted at that time because you know how it is on social media. So I think that realizing that, like, you know what, sometimes I'm so consumed in social media, but if the app got deleted right now, like nothing in my life would really change.
Yeah, for real.
The work's still gonna be put in, so.
It used to realistically be like escape from reality. Now it's like the
reality. Exactly.
It's like the reality.
Now I'm trying to escape. Now I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I think everyone needs to realize, like, if social media just got deleted right now, like how would you feel and would it change anything in your life? And I feel like if the answer's no, if it's not changing your bag, your peace, nothing like that, then don't let it affect your peace or your bag. Because sometimes we sit down and we like miss good opportunities to make money or engage or interact to sit on social media, but then if it was deleted, like it wouldn't change anything for you, you know what I mean? So I think just realizing that is something that I need to work on.
What like what projects do you have going on here right now in Sydney? You know, I haven't been here too long. You know, I'm new to the Sydney, you know, life and all these kind of things. So tell me a bit more about what you got going on here.
So when it comes to events, I throw a bunch of different events. I throw charity events. So I've done some really awesome art-inspired events there's an organization called Art Aid, and I've worked with them a couple of times now, and their mission is really awesome. So they have like prints and artworks for sale, and a percentage goes to the artist, and then a percentage goes to an organization. So I met him and we came on board, and that was amazing, a really great connection to have. And then we did two or three events so far with them, which were really good. We raised money at the door. It was the last one we had performers from Sydney come along that, you know, they got brand exposure from it as well, and we were also able to sell art, we were able to give back, and that was one aspect of it. I've also had other charity events that have been more in the nightlife scene, and I think that's what it's about for me. I'm very passionate, I'm very purpose driven. So if I can do an event, have fun, and it has to change something. Like I have to feel like I'm changing something. So I feel like at the moment I'm working on a couple things. I won't say too soon, but definitely there's art events, charity events. There's like the cookout, the Sunday cookout. So that's food, games, networking, vibes. Definitely more cookouts, different foods. I want to explore. Like I know there's so many talented, authentic, amazing home cooks and chefs that, especially the older generation, like moms and grandmas, who for them it's like, I could never open a restaurant, so no one's going to try my food. Because without social media and these are like, what else could you do? A food truck. But even like social media is so difficult. Like how would they know how to operate that? And so I feel like there's so many grandmas and moms out here, and I'm gonna bring them out for the cookout. We gonna eat good.
No, definitely. Has to happen.
What's that video? We're losing recipes.
Yeah, we're losing recipes.
We actually are.
We're losing
For
recipes.
real.
I'll have to put on the thing.
I actually thought about that last week. I'm like, I need a platform. I know people can like upload their recipes, but I'm like, I need a platform where like everyone can just put their mum's jollof in the chat.
Yeah.
Like and I'll try them all. I'll tell you which one's the best. But yeah, I don't know if I'll trust recipes online from just random.
For real.
Yeah.
But the best ones never want to be shared. That's the thing.
I know.
But
That's
they'll
what.
be gatekeeping.
Yeah, true.
Can you throw down?
I can.
Okay.
I can.
Okay.
No, we actually need to talk about that chicken wings. Those chicken wings?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need the recipe for them. Those chicken wings at the cookout.
Oh no, I did not make them. I actually did not make them. I can't claim that. But yes.
Who? The chef?
Yeah, the chef.
Well, tell the chef to.
Okay, I'm working on my portal.
We didn't have any, but was it like jerk?
No,
This
we got
time,
it late.
the food usually sells out. So this time was a little bit different. It started off as a soul food thing because my sister's husband's from Oakland, and he's obviously, grew up in the South for a while, and
They were there, yeah?
yeah.
Yeah.
They were there.
American guys went outside.
Yeah.
He told me that, he was like, where is it? I'm like, yeah, just down there. Yeah.
So we just wanted the menu to be very, like, I feel like that's one kind of food that you can't get here. You can't get, there's now African restaurants and a bunch of other restaurants which are good, and I love to see it. But when it comes to Black American soul food, it's so, like, you just can't really find it here. So definitely keeping the soul food in 100%. Every couple of events will be soul food. But I also want to explore a couple different cuisines and cultures
that's
as
different
well.
because I've never really actually tried it.
Yeah.
Soul food, yeah.
Yeah, until I went to Africa, and we had a homegirl there she was American from Arizona, and she used to always make it, and it was actually amazing. Like
good, right?
Like
so good, yeah.
So now I know what oxtail is, and all these things that like they always cook. I was like, okay, yeah, I see what the hype is about. So
honestly,
what's some of your favorite soul food?
Oh my gosh, I just want I want everything. Let me think.
Mac and cheese is like much. Isn't it mac and cheese?
Yeah, mac and cheese, cornbread, yams, collard greens.
Yeah.
There's like so many things we haven't even been able to have at the cookout yet that we definitely will. That I feel like
it's just crazy that we don't have that here. In, like,
surprisingly,
it is.
Yeah,
it is. But I think that things are changing. I think that there's a lot of people. It's just property here is very expensive, and it's kind of things are changing. Like if you do hair and do nails, it's not as easy anymore to just, think you're going to have a salon. Like people are having to navigate, and whether that's mobile services or whether that's renting a booth somewhere, like the dynamics really changing, and a lot of people, which is a good thing, from social media are really taking over the scene. And that's where a lot of people go to find their hair, barber, nail tech, tattoo artists. Yeah. And so there is a bit of a disconnect for people who don't use social media. Some of them still have their standard, like family, friends, word of mouth, but it's making it hard in so many different aspects for vendors and estheticians and chefs, and to have, to get the word out there unless they're using it. So I'm hoping that we can find a balance and start to see a lot more businesses and companies come out.
What you're doing with like the Sunday cookout is giving a lot of opportunity for the hairstylist that was there and the girl, yeah. So it's like you're giving a lot of opportunities for, like a lot of, younger people out there that are trying to, so which is so great.
Thank you. As we expand, I want people to come and get don't just come, get your nails done, get your hair done, get your line up, get a tattoo maybe, with some good food. One day we'll have it all there.
I love that.
Yeah, then it just feels like a community vibe type thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I want it to be.
Yeah, it is a community, you bring in different cultures from different parts of the world together.
I think we
under
need
one
that
roof,
here.
And like we are all learning just by, okay, let me try that or let me do this, it's like we don't have that in our culture, so it's a very beautiful thing to see.
That togetherness, that feeling is honestly why I say that Atlanta, I wouldn't have done it differently. Even if it was Harvard or Clark, I would have still gone there.
Yeah.
Because I needed to feel that. And I really wish that there were more opportunities to feel that here in Sydney and in Australia. I feel like I really do try to get out there and network and socialize, but there's still those barriers. It's hard to find like-minded individuals and, be under one roof, one place.
Yeah, for sure.
So what message would you have for, young boy out there, young girl that's sort of lost here in Australia, that doesn't fit in society, well, they think they don't fit in or whatever.
Yeah.
What message would you give them to uplift them and, just sort of look up to what you're doing and, move in your sort of way?
I would tell them that, there's someone else that feels that, maybe even next door, maybe across the road, maybe at the grocery store, maybe at the library, whoever you want to be, whoever you see yourself being, start acting like that person right now. You don't have to wait.
Fake it till you believe it.
Oh, not even fake it, but just be that person. What's stopping you? Like, what is stopping you from being the person that you want to be? Unless you can give me like a physical reason, like, okay, I want to play soccer, my knee's broken. Like, okay, I get it. I get it. Heal. But what is stopping you from being that person? Find those friends that you want to be with. They're out there. Put yourself in those situations. If you never know how you want to dress, start dressing like that. And even though it may not be in your budget, find cheaper alternatives. You never know. Go and reach out to someone who's doing it and tell them, like, I'll model for you for free, or like whatever. Like you could probably just tell them, like, I really, really would love to wear one of your shirts one day. Like, can we work something out? You never know. Maybe they need their house fixed and you do construction and they would do that exchange. Like, you just never know. So start being that person that you want to be. If you don't fit in, make a way. Find a way or make a way. There is a way for you to be that person. There is a way for you to have those things. Yes, it may not be straight away, but if that's the reason stopping you, then you need to tell yourself that, like, instant gratification is not sustainable. So even if it's just small things that you can do to fit in, or not even fit in, I don't even like that word, but small things you can do to find yourself, and then you'll find a place. That's what I would say.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Because even on that point, like, if you're trying to fit in to like another group, you're not actually your true self, so you won't find your actual group type thing.
Find yourself. Be that person that you want to be. In every way. Like, if you're petty, people always say, oh, I'm petty. Don't be petty. Like, you can change that. Like, none of these things you have to be. Like, if you feel like you're just, you're too, you struggle at being on time, work on it. Like, I'm trying to work on all these things that I feel like I need to be better at. As you start to be the person that you actually want to be, you'll gravitate towards people trying to do the same thing and that are already there. And naturally, you won't actually feel like you need to fit in anymore. That's where you're meant to be. That's your place. So it's so important to just mirror your goals, reflect. Allow yourself today to reflect even a fragment of who you want to be in 5 years. You don't have to wait 5 years and then just where you're going to wake up, you're going to be that person. Like, that's not how it works.
Kind of build towards it type of thing,
Build towards it. And the journey will be so beautiful because you'll see, like, the change in yourself. The people around you will see. You'll naturally just drop off from people that you used to hang out with. You'll notice as you're becoming that person, those people that you are, like, struggling to cut off, they won't even call you. They'll know, they'll see it. They're like, oh, yeah, no, we don't have anything to talk about anymore. You don't want to gossip. I'm not calling you. Perfect. You just, you sorted that out yourself. So, yeah.
Growth. Stop there. We'll do closing questions now.
Yep.
What about
5
at
minutes?
an hour?
Yeah.
An hour. So we'll do closing questions. And the outro.
What else do you want to talk about? Do you have anything that you
Just a message you want to get out there, or you think you've just...
I'll probably at the end just say like no taps.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely have a description and everything, so we'll be promoting it as much as we can.
Thank you.
I'm gonna. I'm just gonna ask the insight question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. All right.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I am. All right. So tell us, what are your like insights and takeouts of, what out? Pause.
Start again. You can start again.
Okay.
Start whenever.
I have to actually read the
Wait,
question.
tell me the question first because I feel like I need to think about it.
It's pretty much as we wrap our conversation now. What are the takeaways?
Oh, okay.
So what you want listeners to take out of this interview?
Okay.
Key insights.
Okay.
But she's actually gonna ask it.
Alright.
You can like simplify if you want to.
I know. I'm just trying to. Okay. Yes. As we wrap our conversation up, what are like some like insights you would like our listeners to get out of the conversations that we did have today? I mean,
I would just say that if anyone listening has felt anything or felt understood or felt an emotion that I've described, whether that's, not fitting in or struggling to see the bigger picture or changing your circle, whatever it is, just know that like it will be sorted out, like you will be okay. And just work hard, choose your hard, focus, try your best to work on the parts of yourself that need work. Mm-hmm. Don't wait for someone else to tell you. Don't just be like, okay, that's it, that's who I am. No, we're forever evolving. Yep. We can always grow, we can always get better, we can always, change the parts of ourselves that we need to. And I don't have it all figured out, so I'm not saying that at all. Yeah. I'm still changing and growing, and there's still so many things that I need to work on, and I will. But just be committed to yourself, because at the end of the day, like, it's nothing there's no bigger investment than yourself and your future. So
that point of choose your heart, I've heard that a couple of times, but for the people that don't know, it's a really good quote actually. What does that mean? Choose your heart.
It means that everything is hard. It's hard to get up. It's hard to get dressed to go out and be somewhere you don't want to be. Yeah. It's hard to find access to somewhere you want to be. Mm-hmm. It's hard to, keep making the wrong decisions because you're going to pay for it at some point. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's also hard to change. Yeah. It's just you got to choose the hard that you want to commit to. Yeah. And as soon as you do, things will change. It won't be that hard. Literally one time and it won't be so hard. And whatever that is for you, like habits are formed based on discipline and showing up for yourself. I would love for us all to show up for each other, and I think it's so important, and I want to see more of that. But showing up for yourself, you can't show up for someone else if you don't show up for yourself. So that it starts there. And once you can show up for yourself and you're proud of yourself, and tell yourself you're proud of yourself, even if it's a little thing. But once you show up for yourself and be that person, you'll start seeing others come around you and show up for them. At that point, show up for them. Show your friends love, show your family love, show your network, your your community, everyone. Just live in love. Live in love. Live in love.
Love that.
So Janice, I want to express my deep gratitude for your time today.
Thank you so much for having me.
We love having your insight, your story, and obviously touching some people with your stories that you've been through and everything. So we appreciate your time and appreciate you being here today. So definitely hats off to that. And
I just want to add one thing. I honestly have so much respect for what you guys are doing, because when you first messaged me and told me about your vision and your goals, I was like, oh, I'm in. Like anything about uplifting, like we can have conversations about all that other stuff later, but I mean, I'm just excited to watch the other people that you guys have on, and you both have really incredible stories too that you share, of course. But the people that you're bringing on, your visions, your goals, like I'm proud of you guys.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
No worries.
Same off to you. We're proud of you as well. So just keep doing what you're doing and stay on the same path. So that tunnel vision that you have is unmatched. So yeah, for sure.
And you're only young, so you've got some years behind you, and man, I can't wait to see what you're doing in 5 years. You inspire me.
Thank you.
You're doing great things. Keep it up. We're behind you, and we're gonna support you in any way we can.
I'll be back. A couple of years we'll touch base. I hope at that point.
Yeah.
Grow more.
So guys, thank you for your time. Remember to comment down the favorite part of the episode today. Like, share, subscribe. Everything will be at the bottom. And thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys next time.
Bye.